Okay. Hello students, today I will be discussing about chemical reaction kinetics. Name of a chapter that will begin is chemical kinetics of class 12 chemistry. Now first of all that comes into our mind, this is a particularly new chapter. First of all that will come into our mind is that what is chemical kinetics? Now before going into that, I want to tell you, when we study about a reaction, actually we study three aspects of the reaction. Three aspects. What are the three aspects that we generally study for the reaction? The three aspects are, number one, whether the reaction is spontaneous or not. That is feasible or feasible or not, spontaneous or not, feasible or not. So this is the two aspects in the first point that we will study. So that is understood by del G or Gibbs free energy that you have studied in class 11. Okay, so I will not go into the details of it. Now number two, what is the second aspect? That up to what point the reaction, or up to what extent you can say in case of point, up to what extent the reaction has proceeded before it has attained equilibrium in case of reversible reactions. So this again you have studied as the chemical in the chapter chemical equilibrium in class 11 on the basis of equilibrium constant K. Okay, equilibrium constant Kp, there was Keq, lot of equilibrium constants were there. So you must have studied that. So this also. So the first two aspects is already studied in class 11. Now the third aspect, the speed or velocity with which the reaction occurs. That means the rate of the reaction. That means what? The rate of the reaction. So we will study about the speed or velocity of the reaction, that is the state of the reaction, which is the study of chemical kinetics, which is our study in this particular class 12. So we ought to define that what is chemical kinetics. So the definition of chemical kinetics is that the study about the rate of reaction or speed of reaction or velocity of reaction and the factors which affect the rate of reaction is known as chemical kinetics. The word kinetics itself is a study of, kinetics is a study in physics. In class 11 you must have studied kinetics, where you have studied about motion and laws of motion, isn't it? Motion in one dimension, then laws of motion. These all things you have studied under the topic or branch of kinetics. The branch of kinetics generally deals with motion or speed or acceleration or velocity, these things. So in the same way, because we will study that how fast or slow the reaction is. Okay, on the basis of that, on the factors which affect the speed with which a reaction proceeds, is known as chemical kinetics. So I would like to take, like that you take a screenshot of this. So I'm giving you time to take the screenshot. Okay, I hope that you have taken the screenshot. So I will drop the board now. Okay, moving ahead with the study of chemical kinetics, let us divide the reactions on the basis of the speed. Reactions on the basis of the speed or velocity or rate can be divided into slow reactions, fast reactions, and moderate reactions. Okay, and there are also spontaneous reactions. Now, for example, if I want to give you an example of slow reaction, I would like to say you that rusting of iron. This is a very slow reaction where Fe combines with XH2O plus O2 to give rise to Fe2O3 dot XH2. That is rusting of iron. This is the rust. Okay. So rust formation from pure Fe when it is left outside in the open atmosphere is a very slow reaction. Now there are fast reactions, like for example, if suppose BaSO4 reacts with maybe AgCl, or let us take it AlCl3, then Al2SO4 whole 3 will form and BaCl2 will form. This is a fast reaction. Okay, and then there can be another example of fast reaction, that is AgNO3 plus let us take NaCl. Yeah, AgNO3 plus NaCl. So it will give you AgCl plus NaNO3. This is the from class 10 the concept you can easily know. Okay, I will talk about these reactions. Now again, so these are the two. Then if you want another example, maybe NaOH plus HCl, a reaction between an acid and a base, NaOH plus HCl, the reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water, that is NaCl plus H2O. Now this is also a very fast reaction. So these are the examples of fast reactions. Now, talking about moderate reactions, there can be examples of moderate reactions like, hydrolysis of ester. CH3COO-C2H5 is an ester. If you hydrolyze this ester, then you will get CH3COOH plus C2H5OH. So that is hydrolysis of ester. Then there can be reactions like hydrolysis of sucrose, C12H22O11, C12H22O11. Okay, when it is hydrolysis, it will give, this is what hydrolysis of sucrose. Okay, so this is sucrose. Sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose, C6H12O6 and C6H12O6. So it will be hydrolyzed into C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. Now these are neither very fast reactions nor very slow reactions. These are moderate kind of reactions. Then making of soap, this is hydrolysis of ester. Then again, making of soap is also, that is the opposite reaction of it, the reaction of CH3COOH with C2H5OH to keep CH3COO C2H5. That is, when a carboxylic acid reacts with a what we can say alcohol, they give back the ester, or we say it's soap. Obviously there should be and when they give back the ester of the soap, in that case also if you do it in the laboratory, in class 10 the experiment was there, you will find that it is not a very slow or very fast reaction. It takes some time, you know, half an hour time or 20 minutes or 25 minutes, it takes some time. This reaction also takes some time. This enzyme mediated reaction. This reaction also takes some time. Then I can give you, so that just for your example, I can give you another example. When NH4NO2 is heated to give up H2 and N2. When NH4NO2, that is this is ammonium nitrite, to give your H2O and N2. Yeah, H2O and N2. Okay, so this is also an example of moderate reaction. So these are few examples of moderate reaction that I have presented in front of you. And then there are spontaneous reactions. Now, which are spontaneous reactions? Explosion. Explosion is a spontaneous reaction. Now, these are the certain classification of chemical reactions on the basis of that whether they are slow reactions, fast reaction or moderate reactions. So, you see, now one question arises in your mind that why would, now I will make a small box here. Okay, now I would make a small box here to discuss a little bit of thing. Why there is a difference in the speeds of the reaction? Why spontaneous reactions are like explosions? See, chemistry is a study of matter. Okay, chemistry is a study of matter or basically change in matter. Change in matter. Now, matter could be changed into energy, and energy could be changed into mass, and they are interconvertible. You know that, and also you know that this requires some time to happen. Okay. Now, I would like to discuss this thing in a little bit of different way. I would just like to put the concept in your mind that matter, and there is change in matter. Matter could be changed into energy, or matter could be changed into energy could be changed into mass according to Einstein's equation, that is E is equals to mc square, that you very well know. But then you see, chemistry is a study of change in matter. Now, this changes, when the changes is there is always involvement of energy. Now, it could be so that matter is directly changed into energy. It could be so that matter is directly changed into energy, or energy into mass or matter. Okay, it could be so, but you see, sorry, mass could be changed into energy. I'm so sorry for that. I was just, went with the flow. Anyway, I'm sorry. So, according to Einstein's equation, mass could be changed into energy, and matter could be changed into another form of matter. In chemical reactions, what is happening? This is a form of matter. This is some matter. This becomes certain other matter. This is a matter, and it both got converted into certain other matter. And you know that chemical reaction involves making of bonds and breaking of bonds. And so, when there is making of bond and breaking of bond in chemical reaction involves making of new and breaking of old bonds to make new matter or new compound. Now this, you know that making of new bond is accompanied with release of energy. Any chemistry student would know it that making of new bond is accompanied with release of energy. Whenever a bond is being made, because of the making of the bond, whether the bond is made between two atoms to form a molecule of the same element, like O and O combining to form O2, or maybe Ca and O combining to form CaO, when a bond is being made, you very well know, because you have passed class 11, that there is release of energy when there is making of bond. However, when breaking of old bond is there, or breaking of bond is there, energy needs to be supplied. Energy needs to be supplied. Suppose, for example, CaO is there. When you heat it, if you, or for example, CaCO3 is there. When you heat it, you get CaO plus CO2. You get CaO plus CO2. That means there is breaking of the bond and making of new bonds, and heat is being applied to break the bond between Ca and CO3. You know, Ca, C and O. There is energy applied for breaking a bond. Always remember, there is application of energy, because whenever there is making of bond, they tend towards stability. They go towards stability. Suppose, for example, Na particle is bonding up with Cl particle and forming a solid state. They form a strong force of attraction. And when there is force of attraction, you always remember, force of attraction is accompanied with lowering of energy, that is release of energy. Always lowering of energy. And when there is, suppose this is one atom, this is one atom, they are coming close. When they come close, they and bond up, what happens is, when they came close, there was lowering of energy. So at this point there was high energy, and they came close, and they came close and got attached to each other. And this entire procedure included lowering of energy. And when there is lowering of energy, what is happening? From this point to this point, there is release of lot of energy. And in the same way, you can think it in this way also, that whenever there is bond making, atoms go towards stability. Their orbitals become fulfilled, and they overlap. Or in case of molecular orbital theory also, you can think in that way. There is bonding orbital, there is anti-bonding orbital, and the few species you see, okay, unstable species which take electron in the anti-bonding orbital. In most of the stable species, there are electron in the bonding orbital, if you remember chemical bonding, which you have learned in class 11. So what we see, that in case of stability attainment, there is always lowering of energy, because they come together, there is fulfillment of the orbital, there is always lowering of energy. Always and always lowering of energy, that means release of energy whenever bond is being made. But if you want to disturb that, if you want to break that bond, then you have to supply energy, or that molecule will take up energy. So that means there is hiring of energy or supply of energy. So in a chemical reaction, simultaneously what is happening? There is breaking of bond in this and making of new bond. So there is supply of energy and release of energy also. So this entire complex process of supplying of energy and release of energy, when such type of chemical reactions are occurring, may require different amount of time. Energy release, energy consuming, depending on how strong the bond is or how stable the compound is. Okay, on that factor it will depend that how much energy is required and how much energy is released, and that would depend on how much time would be taken. Okay, and that's why there will be different rates of different reactions. So this is an explanation of why there are different rates of different reactions. I hope that you have understood my explanation. Now this explanation, reason for what explanation? Reason for different rates of different reactions, or different speed, being it slow, fast, moderate or spontaneous, like an explosion. Okay, there can be different rates for different reaction, and hence I hope that this explanation is clear to you. Now it's your task to listen to the entire conversation that I have done with you and jot it down in your copy. Make a note out of it. I will not write it in the copy, but however, you can take a screenshot of these examples that I have given you. So please take a screenshot of these examples. I hope you have already taken it. Thank you. I will drop the board. Okay, so moving on to our next understanding, that rate of reaction. Now we will basically start about the rate of reaction. Now, how to measure the rate of reaction or the measurement of the rate of reaction should be understood. At first, what is the rate of reaction? The rate of reaction is the speed of reaction. It is absolutely means correct to say that rate of reaction is the speed of reaction. But in chemistry, we will define the rate of reaction can be defined as the rate of, that is how fast or how slow, you can think in your mind, fast or slow, little more fast, less fast, slow or a little less slow, in that way, that is rate or speed. The rate of reaction can be defined as the rate of how fast or how slow the concentration of the reactants and the products as the rate of the reaction can be defined as the rate of the change of the concentration. Rate of the change of the concentration of the reactants and the products. The rate of reaction can be defined as that, means how fast the concentrations are changing. I will explain this. Suppose, for example, PCl5 is heated up and broken down into PCl3 plus Cl2. Okay, there is release of Cl2 gas when PCl5 is heated up. Now you have taken certain amount of or certain molar concentration of PCl5, and there is slowly when the reaction proceeds, the PCl5 disappears, because it will slowly get converted into these two, and they appear, the products appear, isn't it? The molar concentration of PCl5 disappears, means becomes less and less and less, continuously घटते जाता है, and the molar concentration of these two, PCl5 and Cl2, increases and increases and increases. मोलर कंसंट्रेशन इन लोगों का बढ़ते जाता है, धीरे धीरे ये डिसअपियर होता जाएगा और ये अपीयर होता जाएगा. So the rate of the reaction can also be said as the rate of appearance of the products, or it can be said as the rate of disappearance of the reactants. Okay, so the rate of the reaction can be understood as the rate of the appearance of the products and the rate of the disappearance of the reactants. क्योंकि इसका जो concentration है, molar concentration है, okay, let us take in molar concentration only. ये धीरे धीरे हीट होते होते ये टूटता जाएगा, इसका एक मॉलिक्यूल टूट के इसका एक मॉलिक्यूल देगा. सोचो इसका तुमने 10 मोलर दिया है, 10 मोलर में 10 जितना भी इसका ग्राम हो, ठीक है. थोड़ा सा डिटेल में बताऊंगा जस्ट टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड. PCl5 मतलब तुम्हारा फास्फोरस का हो गया 31 प्लस क्लोरीन का हो गया 35.5, 31 एटॉमिक मास, क्लोरीन का हो गया 35.5 into 5, तो यानी आपका हो जाएगा 150 और 5 से 125 हो गया आपका, तो 175 और 0.5 मतलब 2.5, राइट. सो 177.5 plus 31, so that is 208.5. Okay, so that means your molecular mass is 200, that is PCl5's molecular mass is 208.5. So that means 2 by 28.5 gram means 1 mole. So that means if suppose you have taken 10 moles, that means you have taken 10 moles. Suppose for example you have taken 10 moles. 10 moles मतलब आपने लिया होगा 10 into this 208.5 into 10 आपका हो जाएगा 2085 by 10, तो 2085 ग्राम. तो आपका कितना हो जाएगा 2085 ग्राम. तो इतना ग्राम यानी 10 मोल्स आपने लिया है. तो इसमें कितने मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं 6.022 × 10⁻23 into 10. इतना सारा मॉलिक्यूल्स है मतलब 10⁻24 मॉलिक्यूल्स है 10 मोल्स में, है ना. तो इतना सारा मॉलिक्यूल में पहला मॉलिक्यूल ब्रेक करके ये और ये मॉलिक्यूल आ जाएगा. दूसरा मॉलिक्यूल और इतना सारा मॉलिक्यूल मतलब इतना ग्राम ऑफ PCl5 धीरे धीरे घटते 0 ग्राम में आएगा, है ना. 2085 ग्राम से धीरे धीरे घटते 0 ग्राम में आएगा और इन लोगों का बढ़ता जाएगा. So it will disappear and it will disappear. Now the question is how fast it is disappearing. Is it disappearing very fast, or is it disappearing slow, or is it disappearing faster to any other reaction in comparison to it? How? So you need a mathematical thing to measure it. So how can you do it? You can do it that suppose you express PCl5 as in bracket PCl5. When you express it in bracket, suppose this is in bracket expression, you must have learned in chemical equilibrium in class 11 that when you express it in bracket, it is denoted as molar concentration. Okay, it is denoted as molar concentration. In the same way, PCl3 को भी bracket में लिख दो और Cl2 को भी bracket में लिख दो. So now this will express molar concentration. Now, suppose if I write del PCl5. Now what does this del PCl5 or del symbol symbolizes? The del symbol symbolizes change. That means suppose initially एक particular time में आप speed जानना चाहते हो, ठीक है, एक particular change में suppose 0 seconds से आप 10 seconds तक नापे हो या फिर 100 seconds तक नापे हो, तो इसमें मोलर कंसंट्रेशन तो 2085 ग्राम से घट के एकदम में 0 ग्राम नहीं हो जाएगा ना, कुछ एक बीच में आएगा. शायद 100 सेकंड्स में रिएक्शन कंप्लीट नहीं हो रहा है, इस रिएक्शन को कंप्लीट होने में शायद 500 सेकंड्स लगता हो, ठीक है. तो अगर 500 सेकंड्स लगता हो तो 100 सेकंड्स में थोड़ी ना 2085 ग्राम से 0 ग्राम हो जाएगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, कुछ एक बीच में आएगा, राइट. सो यानी या फिर 10 मोल से एकदम 0 मोल थोड़ी ना हो जाएगा, कुछ एक बीच में आएगा. सो दैट मींस जो आएगा वो है आपका फाइनल कंसंट्रेशन और इनिशियल कंसंट्रेशन जो आपने लिया था. इनिशियल कंसंट्रेशन क्या है, जो आपने 0 सेकंड्स में क्या कंसंट्रेशन होना चाहिए, जो आपने कंसंट्रेशन लिया था मतलब 10 मोल्स. ओके, 10 मोल्स होना चाहिए आपका इनिशियल कंसंट्रेशन और उससे थोड़ा घटके आएगा, ठीक है. और एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में it will become what? It will become a particular concentration, maybe that is your final concentration. Maybe 10 moles से घट के it has become 3 moles or 5 moles or maybe 7 moles, whatever it is. Okay. और concentration घट रहा है, continuously घट रहा है. So concentration घटते क्या हो जाएगा, एक initial concentration होगा आपका, तो उसको लिखते हैं PCl5 initial, ठीक है. पहला एक आपका initial concentration होगा, दूसरा आपका एक final concentration होगा PCl5 final, राइट. फाइनल कंसंट्रेशन जो बीच में मैंने बोला 100 सेकंड्स में जो आपको मिलेगा जो कंसंट्रेशन. अब यहाँ पे आप एक मुझसे क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो, सर ऐसे ही रिएक्शन के बीच में आप कंसंट्रेशन कैसे नाप लोगे? तो रिएक्शन के बीच में मैं कंसंट्रेशन कैसे नापूंगा, उसका मेथड है, उसको बोलते हैं फ्रीजिंग ऑफ द रिएक्शन, जिसमें मैं आऊंगा. बट देन आई होप दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. Okay, so I just saw that video is going on. Anyway, so I hope that you have understood that PCl5 initial. So आप क्या करोगे, आप PCl5 final से माइनस कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ PCl5 इनिशियल कर दोगे, तो आपको क्या मिल जाएगा, आपको मिल जाएगा del PCl5 concentration. मतलब this is the change in concentration. This is the change in concentration. Now this will have a negative value. Don't you think that this particular thing will del PCl5, this del PCl5 will have a negative value. Now why it will have a negative value? Because ये तो घटा है ना, इससे concentration तो final will be less, final molar concentration will be less. मैंने बोला है 10 मोल से घट के शायद ये 10 मोल से घट के शायद ये 7 मोल्स बन गया होगा, right or wrong? So that means 7 minus 10, you are doing 7 minus 10, you are doing 7 minus 10. So definitely the concentration will be negative. अब इसको दिमाग में रखो, change in concentration will be negative. Now if you do, now from here I am coming to here, the board is becoming dirty, but I hope that you are understanding. Now del PCl5, that is change in concentration of PCl5 by del T. What is del T? 100 minus 0, that is 100 seconds. Okay, so that will give you the rate of the reaction from 0 second to 100 second में कितना fast reaction हुआ है, right? अब that means what? And we'll do one thing. Just take a screenshot of this so that I can proceed. Okay, just take a screenshot. Taking screenshot is important. Just take a screenshot of it. Okay, I hope you have taken it. I'm rubbing the board now. Now I'll move with my explanation. I just want my board to be clean. Little bit clean. Okay, that will do. Okay, so now del of PCl5 by del T, if you do, okay, del of PCl5 by del T if you do, that is equals to rate of reaction. Definitely that is equals to, that is, I have explained the change in concentration per unit time. Okay, the rate of change of concentration. What is rate of change of concentration? Change of concentration per unit time. Any rate, और किसी का भी स्पीड जानना है तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, टाइम से डिवाइड कर देते हैं, जैसे स्पीड इज इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस बाय टाइम. किसी का भी जानना है तो चेंज को, उस चीज के चेंज को टाइम से डिवाइड कर देते हैं. तो इसी तरह change in concentration divided by time is known as rate of reaction. I hope that you understand that this is known as the rate of reaction. But यहाँ पे अब एक बात बताओ, rate of reaction कभी negative नहीं हो सकता. It cannot be negative. Rate of reaction can not be negative. So what you need to do is you need to put a minus sign in front. When you are writing for, this is actually also this rate of, this is actually also rate of disappearance of reactant, isn't it? Because this is the reactant. Then sir, in case of products we cannot measure. Obviously in case of products also you can measure. In case of products also you can measure. And how can you measure in case of products? In the same way, del PCl3, that is concentration of PCl3 by del T. But this is rate of appearance. If you do, now PCl3 concentration is increasing. At first, suppose again I am saying you are measuring from 0 seconds to 100 seconds. At 0 seconds, the PCl3 concentration will be 0 molar, okay? But in 100 seconds, maybe PCl3 concentration will be 7 mole or something like that, 8 mole, 9 mole, whatever, 5.5 mole, I don't care, but more than 0. So the final is more and the initial is less. In this case, if you write PCl3, so the PCl3 final and this is the PCl3 initial. Okay, so this is the PCl3 initial, this is the PCl3 final. So PCl3 final minus initial is del PCl3. Now this is a positive value. This is a positive value because the final is the less, because it is appearing, the concentration is increasing. Okay, so in that case this is also equals to rate of reaction. Rate of reaction is also equals to del PCl, concentration of PCl3 by del T. It is also like this. But in this case you don't have to put a minus sign to balance the minus sign, as because it cannot be negative, it is always positive, and this concentration has come negative. So to balance it you have put minus, so that minus minus plus to plus ho jaye. But then in this case you don't have to put it. In the same way you can also write del Cl2 by del T. So I hope that you have understood that how to measure the rate of reaction and how to write it down. So now take a final screenshot for the new things that I have written and I will entirely clear the board. Thank you. Okay, now little bit moving ahead. So I hope that you have understood this. So I will just in general say you something now, that in general if we write, suppose A is reacting with B to give C plus D, then rate of reaction is equals to rate of appearance of A or B and equals to, rate of disappearance, I'm so sorry, rate of disappearance, because these are reactants, so this will disappear, this will be over, and when these are made, and rate is equals to rate of appearance of C or D. I hope that you understand how to write it down. So rate of reaction is equals to negative of del concentration of A by del T is equals to negative of del concentration of B by del T is equals to positive of concentration del concentration of C, that is change in concentration of C by del T, and positive of del of concentration of D by del T. Okay, I hope you understand why I had to put this del thing. If you do not understand, you ask me in WhatsApp, okay, that why I have given del, and I hope that I have made it clear, I have made you understand in the previous section of this class only, or just the previous section what I have explained. So this is how we write the rate of reaction. Now question arises about the unit of the rate of the reaction. So what will be the unit of rate of reaction? Very easy to understand. Suppose speed is equal to distance by time. This is also rate of change of distance. Or velocity is equal to displacement by time. Right? So you write meter per second. So meter second inverse. Yes. So this is also concentration was measured in what? Concentration was measured in mole. Right? Concentration was measured in mole. Divided by what? Second. So mole second inverse, that should be the unit should it be O. Now see, in case of reactions, I have done that explanation with the help of mole, I understand. But actually when reactions occur, now here little bit I want to talk about it. When reactions occur, suppose A is reacting with B, with C, with D, then you remember we balance the reaction, right? So when we balance it, there is a lot of talk about the balancing the reaction, but when you balance it, we actually balance because how many, not to understand mole but molar. Okay, how many molar concentration? Molar. Okay, balancing, suppose H2 plus I2 gives rise to 2HI. So that means 1 molar H2, 1 molar I2 gives 2 molar HI. Okay, however, we can also say 1 mole H2 gives 1 mole I2 to give 2 moles of HI. But however, little bit in depth if you understand, these reactions do take place in a certain media or certain solution. Maximum of the reactions do take place in a certain solution or media. Most of them not also. But when a reaction is taking place, it is generally in mixture form, right? It is generally in solution form. May it be it is dissolved in a liquid solvent, or may it be together different gases are present. And when it is in a mixture form or a solution form, then it always is expressed in molarity or molality or mole fraction, which was little bit there in class 11, and entire chapter of solution is there in class 12. However, you see that when reaction occurs, okay, okay, so they are actually H2 and I2 are together in a chamber, right? H2 and I2 are together lying inside a chamber. So at that time what you do, we measure the concentration of each with respect to the each, and that time we use molarity or molality in this way, and they have specific definitions. Little bit was there in class 11, if you don't remember. Then in this solution chapter also is there, but I just want to make it clear in front of you that molarity हो चाहे molarity हो या mole fraction हो, okay, या फिर normality is there. These are the ways to, express the concentration of a particular. Here we are talking about a particular reactant, a particular product. In the same way, these are the ways of expressing the strength or how much amount of H2 is present in the entire mixture of H2 and I2, or how much amount of I2 is present in the entire mixture of H2 and I2. So molarity, mole fraction, these are the ways. So of which molarity is used for concentration in case of reaction. Of which what is used? Molarity. Now what is the definition of molarity? Number of moles of the substance dissolved in 1000 ml of the solution. So how will be the formula? Molarity is equals to number of moles by volume of solution or the mixture into 1000. because कितना में डिसॉल्व है तो हम लोग को 1000 मोल में ml में चाहिए, तो वॉल्यूम ऑफ द सॉल्यूशन ml में मेजर करके 1000 से मल्टीप्लाई करना है. So that means what is the unit of molarity? Unit of molarity will be mole per liter. Yes or no? What will be the unit of molarity? The unit of molarity will be mole per liter. Now I am telling you, I hope that you have understood this. Okay, so this is a way to express the particular amount of the substance present in a solution or in a mixture together, and in case of reaction, they are together present. Okay, in the entire mixture box, they are together present. Whatever is the mixture, suppose acid is reaction with a base, NaOH is reaction with HCl, they are in a particular beaker, in a solution state, dissolved in water, or maybe two gases are reacting, or maybe two native things are reacting. Okay, generally we take it in water solution, or if we also don't take in water solution, still they are in what? They are in mixture form. And when they are in mixture form, and out of the various components of the mixture, like in a reaction vessel, if you want to know the concentration of one, you express it with respect to the other. That's why you use molarity, mole fraction, normality. And in case of molarity, this is the definition and this is the formula. So what becomes the unit? Mole per liter. In case of reaction, you use molarity. So it should not be mole per second, but in case of mole, the concentration will be expressed as mole per liter. As because why it become liter? Because 1000 ml is 1 liter. That's why. So mole per liter per second. Yes or no? So the unit of the rate of the reaction will be mole per liter per second. So mole, liter inverse, second inverse. This is the unit of rate of reaction. I hope that you have understood what I have tried to teach you. So take a screenshot of this and we will move into our next understanding. Okay, now, so I hope that you have understood that how to write and what is the unit. Now remember, in case of okay, remember in case of reactions involving gaseous reactants and products. In case of reactions involving gaseous reactants and products, what happens is you do not express it as mole per liter per second. You express it as atm per second. That is the rate of change of the concentration. Here, in case of gases, when two gases react, suppose this is a reaction vessel. Okay, now two gases A and B are reacting. Suppose this is the molecules of the A gas and these are the molecules of the B gas. Okay, they are reacting. Okay, there was certain problem in the video. Anyway, so the molecules of the, you are certainly finding it written maybe. Anyway, because the video got disconnected, I will explain just. So I was saying that the molecules of the A gas and the molecules of the B gas are reacting. For example, H2 is reacting with O2 to form H2O. Now what happens in case of gas, we measure the partial, you see, we suppose P is the partial pressure of the particular reactant. P is the partial pressure of H2 or O2, whatever it is. Now you know PV is equals to nRT, so P is equals to N by V into RT. Now P by RT, bringing the RT down, P by RT is equals to N by V, that is the molar concentration. Okay, N by V, that is the molar concentration. Now what happens is that when it is N by V, that is the particular molar concentration. Okay, so N by V or number of moles per unit volume, that is mole per liter, is directly proportional to P. Means the molar concentration will decrease, so the amount of the hydrogen gas molecules will decrease in the entire mixture, and hence its partial pressure will also decrease. Okay, in the same way, the O2 if also decrease, the partial pressure will also decrease. So what happens, there is change in concentration of particular reactant by time, is change in the concentration is also related to change in pressure. So that is equal to change in partial pressure by time. In case of gaseous reaction, that's why partial pressure is measured in atm, so it becomes in place of mole per liter, atm per second. So I hope that this information was useful to you. Take a screenshot of this and then we will move into the next portion of our understanding. Okay. Now, average and instantaneous rate of reaction. Average and instantaneous rate of reaction. Okay, so let us try to understand this. In case of understanding average and instantaneous rate of reaction, I would like to just recapitulate a small physics, little bit of physics from class 11. If you remember, physics and maths both. If you remember that velocity is equals to displacement by time, that is rate of change of displacement per unit time. If the displacement is denoted by x and time by t, you also used to write v is equals to d dt of x, that is dx by dt. Isn't it? Now this is differential concept. Now what happens? Little bit, let me tell you. Suppose a car has started from this point and is approaching this point. And from this point to this point you have measured the change in time. So that is del t. And from this point to this point you have measured the change in displacement, that is del x. So what happens is velocity equals to del x by del t. Now this del x by del t gives you the entire velocity of the entire journey. Now suppose you want to measure in, this is known as the average velocity. If you plot a graph of velocity, then you have to plot displacement at the x-axis, displacement at the, yes, this is, this is y-axis, but I am writing x because that is displacement, okay? X is taken as displacement here. So x is just a variable denoting displacement, and here I will plot t. And suppose you get a straight line, then we call it uniform velocity, if you remember. Uniform velocity means if you break it down into small intervals, small intervals, very small, very small, very small, very small, very small, very small, very small intervals, if you break it down, then what happens? That in each of the changes, from this point to this point, whatever is the change, that is this the x by t, this from this point to this x by t, 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 all are same. Means all the instantaneous changes are also, this is instantaneous. What is instantaneous? What is the meaning of the term instantaneous? You are in class 12, I hope you understand this, but still just to make sure you understand properly, I am explaining it. What is the meaning of instantaneous? Measured at a very, very small interval of time. Instantaneous means measurement at a very, very small interval of time. And when you measure at a very small interval of time, that is instantaneous. And in this case, there can be many, thousands of instantaneous velocities. And if each of the instantaneous velocity is same, then you get a straight line. But if the instantaneous velocity is not same, you get a curved line. Okay, you get a curved line, because in each case, suppose this small del x by t is not equals to next del x by t. Suppose I have started my bike and I want to go from here to Siliguri. Okay, suppose from this place Shiv Mandir, where I am right now. From Shiv Mandir I want to go to Siliguri, which is about 10 kilometers of distance. Now, suppose I ask one of the students to measure the time that I have started at 5 p.m. and I reached Siliguri at 5:15. So within a span of 15 minutes, I covered 10 kilometers. So 10 by 15 kilometers per minute is my velocity. So that is average total. So do you think that when I come from Shiv Mandir, my house, to just the nukkar of my house, then from that nukkar up to the medical mode, from that medical mode to city center, from city center to from city center to Darjeeling mode, from Darjeeling mode to Hanuman Mandir, from Hanuman Mandir. Now if I divide it into small intervals, in each of the intervals was my velocity 10 by 15 km per minute? Obviously no, I must have applied brake. Somewhere my velocity, somewhere I must have got the road back end, somewhere I must be driving fast, somewhere I must be driving slow. You measure the total time. The student measured the total time and the total distance. But at small end, now imagine those distances to be very small and the time intervals to be very small, such that limit del x tends towards 0. Whenever limit del x tends towards 0 of any function, then it becomes dx, right? With respect to y is equals to limit del x tends to, then it becomes d dx of y, isn't it? In the same way, here if limit del t tends towards 0 of the function displacement x by t, displacement by time, then it will become d dt of x. So this is basic differential concept you must be having in class 11 only. So at very small interval we are measuring. So that means, suppose from, for example, from this point to this point, if I want to measure the change, I will measure the time here, I will measure the time here. This is t1, this is t2. So t2 minus t1 will give me del t. And at this point I will measure the x1, and at this point I will measure the x2. So this will give me the del x. So I will do del x by del t, which will give me the entire velocity of my path. But in this case, from this point to this point, I was not applying same velocity. That's why it is the car path. In case of straight path, what would happen? Just understand, because you will require this concept throughout this chapter. That's why I am explaining it in detail. Okay. Suppose if it would be an uniform velocity, at each instant also whatever my speed was, the entire was also same. Okay, so in that case what will happen is, it will give me a straight line. That is uniform velocity for each point. In that case, from here to my nukkad of my house, from nukkad of my house to medical mode to city center to Darjeeling mode to Hanuman mode, so on. Always I maintain the same uniform speed. That is uniform velocity. So each interval, from this interval to this interval, what will be del x by del t? From this interval to this interval, the del x by del t will remain same. From this interval to this interval, the del x, that is the del x here, the del x by del t will remain same. In each of the intervals it will remain same, and for the entire also it will remain same. This is expressed by a simple thought that in case of a straight line, the angle doesn't change. This angle is also theta. From this interval to this interval, if I want to measure, then this angle also remains theta, and these two lines are parallel, so theta is equals to theta, corresponding angle. So tan theta remains same, so the slope remains same. Slope remains same, and as the slope remains same, what happens is the velocity remains uniform. But in these cases, at this point, suppose you want to measure, means at this is a single point. That means here the change, this del t is very big. But at this point, if you want to measure, this del t is very small. Del t tends towards 0. Limit of del t tends towards 0, and when limit of del t tends towards 0, what happens is this becomes instantaneous change. At this point and at this point, okay, the changes are not same because it is not a straight line, it is a curved line. The changes are not same. So in each case the changes are different, and you can find it out by finding out the tangent. You draw the tangent here, or if you draw the tangent here, or if you draw the tangent here, in each cases you will get different theta. That means different tan theta you will get, and in each cases the slope will be different, and hence the instantaneous velocity will be different, and you will get a curved line, which I have explained that in each of the cases the instantaneous velocity will be different and the slope will be different. Why the slope will express the velocity? Because it is dx by dt. This is the perpendicular and this is the base. Suppose this is the perpendicular, which is the del x. This is the base, which is the del t. So perpendicular by base is tan theta. That's why tan theta. That's why I was talking about slope. So the change is del x by del t always. Del x by del t is the change. Del x by del t is the change. That is, here x is denoting the distance. So that means in each case the changes will be same. So tan theta will remain same. Each case it will same. And practically, if you want to understand, in each of the cases, each of the instant, I have maintained same velocity. So that each of the instantaneous velocities are also same and measured at small interval of time, and the entire is also same. Okay. In that case, we consider it uniform. In that case, we consider it uniform. Now, yeah. So I hope that you have understood. And in this case, we consider it non-uniform. Why do we consider it non-uniform? Because in each of the cases they were not same. In each of the cases, I have not maintained the same velocity mainly. So in each of the cases, if I find out the tan theta or the slope from the tangent of the graph, suppose this is the graph. If I find out tangent at this place, this theta, and if I find out tangent at this place, this theta will be same, will be different. Okay, because they will this line and this line. In this case, this is a single line. This will not be a single line. So theta will be different, and hence slope will be different, and hence dx by dt, which is expressing the small change or the thing, that will also not be same. In this case, limit del x tends to 0, which is expressing small change. Okay, this is also change. So dt of x or dx by dt, small change. Okay, so if you want to understand small change, we have to draw a slope. We have to draw a slope in case of small change. I hope that this concept of physics is clear to you, and you understand, and little bit you could relate because you have also learned in class 11 physics. So I hope that you have understood this. Okay, so that is instantaneous change, and that is the average change. This average change is total, instantaneous change is the small. In case of average change, it does remain same in the every instant, and also for the total, in case of instantaneous that or non-uniform, in case of uniform the instantaneous and average remain same. In case of non-uniform the instantaneous and the average doesn't remain same. And in case of instantaneous, where limit del t tends to 0, x by t, it becomes d dt of x, which is the concept of calculus or differentiation. What is differentiation? Breaking down into small part is differentiation. Breaking down into small parts. So in this way, if you break the del t down into small parts, and in each part it is getting different values, so you're getting a curved line expresses that in each cases there are different changes or different values of the changes, so different slopes, so different rates or different speeds in each of the cases. I hope that you understand this particular concept. Okay, I needed to say that much only, so to you. So that is what it is. So we draw a slope to understand what we do to understand the instantaneous change. I hope that you have understood this concept, and I have told it in a very short manner so that just to Google you through the previous concept. Anyway, I am having the board. If you want to take a screenshot, please take it. Okay. Now we will understand the average and the instantaneous rate of reactions. Same thing. Suppose you want to understand the rate of reaction. What is the formula of rate of reaction? The formula of rate of reaction is what? The formula of rate of reaction is del x by del t. How? Because why? Because it is actually, suppose A is reacting with B to give C plus D, so it is minus of del of concentration of A by del T. Now if I take the concentration in terms of x, if I use the variable x to determine the initial concentration and final concentration, so xf minus xi in this case PCl5 याद करो जो थोड़ी देर पहले समझाया था. So that is xf minus xi is equals to del x. Okay. So xf minus xi is equals to del x by del t. So del x. Now this change divided by del t. Now if this change is understood to be very instantaneous, so you will do ddt of x, for which you have to draw a slope in the graph. Now do you think that the rate of a reaction will be uniform? Will obtain a straight line? Do you think like this, that the rate of a reaction will obtain a straight line? Rate of a reaction will never ever obtain a straight line, because there is law of mass action which states that as the concentration, the rate of the reaction depends on the concentration. And as the concentration decreases, rate of the reaction also decreases. Means when the reaction will move forward and reaction will keep on occurring, the molecules will be start changing, breaking down the bonds and making up new bonds and making up new chemical compounds. In case of chemical reaction, what will happen? Always you will find that after certain time that the reaction has already proceeded, the rate has decreased. So rate will never be uniform in case of chemical reactions. However, in case of velocity it may be. So if I plot the concentration of a reactant here, suppose I am plotting the concentration of a reactant, and here if I plot time, then let it be this graph. Okay, because it will not be uniform, so that's why it will obtain a curved line. Now as you can observe that as time is progressing, the concentration is decreasing continuously. Why? Because concentration of a reactant always go down. That I have already explained. Now, if you want to find out the instantaneous rate of reaction, what you need to do is you need to draw a tangent here. When you draw a tangent, you will get like this. So you measure the change from this to this, whatever the value is given. You measure the change from this to this will become your perpendicular by base. So tan theta or the slope will be equals to perpendicular by base. which will give you d dt of x, that is the instantaneous rate. At a particular point you can find out. At a particular point you can find out the instantaneous rate. So tan theta is equal to p by d or dx by dt. Okay, and if you want to find out the average, what you need to do? I will draw another graph to find out the average. Just from this point to this point you want to find the average. Measure the del t, big del t. Then from this point to this point, so that means from this point to this point, just measure the big del x or change in concentration and do del x by del t. And remember, as because this is rate of reaction or it is rate concentration of the reactant, you have to put a negative sign in front so that the rate comes in positive. That was explained earlier also. Okay, because the rate of the reaction is becoming less. The initial is more, the final is less. So when you do final minus initial, you will get negative. So put a negative in front so that it becomes positive. So del x by del t, you will get what? U del x by del t, you will get positive. So that is the average rate of reaction. And if at any particular point, if you want to measure, you have to draw tangent. And in this point there will be different rate, and in this point there will be different dx by dt. Now if you break it down in small intervals, suppose in this, so in this small interval del t, in this small dt interval, small interval. So you know that you have to differentiate and find out. So that's why you are differentiating. Differentiating means del t, limit del t tends to 0. This is one thing. But then at that point you cannot measure the dt, neither can you measure the dx. So what you do is you draw tangent to that, and when you draw the tangent, okay, you get theta, do tan theta, that is perpendicular by base, then you will get it. Perpendicular by base is only equals to dx by dt. Okay, in that case. Okay, so I hope that you understand. In this case you will get a different theta. Okay, you just have to draw the tangent and just match it. Okay, you will get a different theta. And in this case, do the changing, see the change in del t, see the change in del x, and just divide it, and that is only d dt of x. That is only d dt of x. Finding out the slope is only d dt of x. I hope that you have understood this particular concept. Okay, so that is the average and instantaneous rate, found out obviously in the units mole per liter per second. I hope that you understand this. Okay, so that is one thing. For example, just take a screenshot of this and on the board if you want to take a screenshot. Thank you. Suppose, for example, here it is 0.05 molar, here it is 0.04 molar, here it is 0.03 molar, here it is 0.02 molar, here it is 0.01 molar. So that is concentration of the reactant. Now here it is, suppose 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 seconds. And if you want to find out the instantaneous at this point, what you need to do is, you just need to draw a tangent and join it and join it. So what is the change? Let us take it 0. So the change is 0.04. This is the initial, and let us consider it to be 0.01. So it will be something between 0.01 and 0.02. Okay, so it will be something between 0.01 and 0.02, and the mid value will be 0.015 if you calculate. And then what will happen is the change is from 0.04 to 0.015. This is final. So 0.015 minus 0.04 divided by ये change कितना है? That is 4. So divided by 4 इतना आ गया. लेकिन याद रहे, आपने ध्यान रहे, ये आप एक पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंट में नाप रहे हो. इस इंस्टेंट में मतलब जब रिएक्शन प्रोसीड करके डायरेक्ट 2.5 सेकंड उस टाइम में, उस पॉइंट में 2.5 सेकंड जब हुआ था तब स्पीड कितना था, तब स्पीड कितना था, इंस्टेंटेनियसली आपने फाइंड कर लिया एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट में, क्योंकि यहाँ पे del t टेंड्स टू 0, लिमिट ऑफ del t टेंड्स टू 0 हो गया था और एक पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंट में आपने मेजर कर लिया। हालांकि आपने ये बड़ा चीज को इस बड़ा चीज से डिवाइड किया है, लेकिन ये क्योंकि ये आपको स्लोप देता है इसलिए आपने डिवाइड किया है, वो दूसरा चीज है। लेकिन आपने ये क्या निकाला है, अगर फिजिकली सोचोगे तो आपने ये क्या निकाला है, ये आपने 2.5 सेकंड में, ठीक है, एकदम रिएक्शन बढ़ के एकदम पट करके 2.5 सेकंड में कितना हुआ था वो आपने यहाँ पे निकाला है, आपने और कुछ नहीं निकाला, वो निकाला है। लेकिन एवरेज में आप क्या करते हो, एवरेज में ये अगर है एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम से दूसरे पर्टिकुलर टाइम ये del t नाप लेते हो, फिर ये से ये लेके यहाँ का del x नाप लेते हो, so that del x by del t will give you average that is different माइनस के भी रिएक्टेंट प्लॉट किया था मैंने, आपको याद रहेगा। ये जब नीचे की तरफ जाएगा याद रखना रिएक्टेंट प्लॉट किया, क्योंकि कंसंट्रेशन डिक्रीज हो रहा है टाइम बढ़ते बढ़ते। सर प्रोडक्ट प्लॉट करेंगे तो कैसा दिखेगा, दूसरा दिखेगा प्रोडक्ट प्लॉट करने से, ये देखो, ओके सामने कर रहे हैं, it will look different when you plot the product. Concentration of the products increases, so that means what will happen, as time will increase the concentration will increase rather than to decrease, so the graph will look like this, increasing graph, concentration is increasing, at less time there is this is concentration of product। हाँ, तो ग्राफ देख के पता चलना चाहिए कि ऐसा ग्राफ है तो यहाँ पे y में क्या प्लॉट किया है, कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ रिएक्टेंट, और ऐसा अगर इंक्रीजिंग ग्राफ है तो कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट, क्योंकि कंसंट्रेशन हमेशा बढ़ते बढ़ते जाता है। सो यहाँ पे आपने टी प्लॉट किया है, तो सेम मेथड है, यहाँ पे भी पता करना है कौन सी इंस्टेंट में, तो ऐसे टाइमिंग खींचना है, या फिर एवरेज पता करना है तो एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम से एक पर्टिकुलर का टाइम का ले लो, फिर एक पर्टिकुलर उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम का चेंज ले लो। तो यहाँ पे आप क्या कर रहे हो, एक बड़ा टाइम इंटरवल, इस पॉइंट से रिएक्शन की इस टाइम से लेके उस टाइम तक कितना स्पीड था वो निकाला, और ये क्या निकाला, रिएक्शन होते होते एक पर्टिकुलर टक करके एक पॉइंट में कितना हुआ वो निकाला। सर ये कैसे कर सकते हैं प्रैक्टिकली ये कर सकते हो, सपोज आपका रिएक्शन हो रहा है तब आप क्या करो, रिएक्शन को फ्रीज कर दो, बहुत छोटा वॉल्यूम ऑफ द रिएक्शन मिक्सचर 2 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब या 5 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ऑफ द रिएक्शन मिक्सचर आप निकाल ला, ओके, 2 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब और 5 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ऑफ द रिएक्शन आप निकाल, रिएक्शन मिक्सचर आप निकाल ला और उसको फटाक से कूल कर दो। जब उसको फटाक से कूल कर दोगे तब क्या हो जाएगा, दैट इज नोन एज द फ्रीजिंग ऑफ द रिएक्शन। तब आप नाप लो, ठीक है, उसका कंसंट्रेशन नाप लो, ठीक है। तो ऐसे करके आप कर सकते हो और उसके हिसाब से ग्राफ ड्रॉ करके फिर ग्राफ के हेल्प से आप कर सकते हो। पर्टिकुलर टाइम में एक 1 सेकंड रिएक्शन जब हो रहा है, 1 सेकंड में प्लॉट करना है कितना कंसंट्रेशन है, तब निकाल के नाप लो। 2 सेकंड में जब आप प्लॉट कर रहे हो, ग्राफ प्लॉट कर रहे हो, तब क्या कर रहे हो प्रैक्टिकली, ये तो ग्राफ अगर मिल गया तो इंस्टेंटेनियस और एवरेज कहीं भी पॉइंट में निकाल सकते हो, वो डिफरेंट चीज है। लेकिन सर ग्राफ 2 मिलेगा कैसे, रेट ऑफ, आपने तो बता दिया रिएक्टेंट का कंसंट्रेशन होने से डिक्रीजिंग होगा, इंक्रीजिंग ग्राफ होगा, ये सब देख के तो पता चल जाएगा, समझ में आ गया। लेकिन आप ग्राफ 2 ड्रॉ कैसे करते हो वो तो बताओ, चलो वो भी बता देते हैं, ग्राफ ड्रॉ कैसे करते हैं। एक काम नहीं कर रहा है, सॉरी, एक रिएक्शन वेसल है, सोचो यहाँ पे रिएक्शन हो रहा है ना, अब फटाक से निकालो 2 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब या 5 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब या उससे भी छोटा या उसके बीच में कुछ रिएक्शन मिक्सचर निकाल दिया और उसको फ्रीजिंग ऑफ द रिएक्शन कर दिया। क्या कर दिया, फ्रीजिंग ऑफ रिएक्शन। हालांकि ये मेजर करने का दूसरा तरीका है, अगर प्रेशर या ऑप्टिकल रोटेशन, हाँ, या फिर वॉल्यूम, ये सब जो ऑब्जर्वेबल क्वांटिटीज है, ठीक है, ये अगर चेंज हो रहा है एक रिएक्शन में, जब एक रिएक्शन चल रहा है तब प्रेशर चेंज हो रहा है या ऑप्टिकल रोटेशन ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल्स चेंज हो रहा है या फिर वॉल्यूम चेंज हो रहा है। ऑप्टिकल रोटेशन के बारे में ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री में पढ़ोगे। ऑप्टिकल रोटेशन मतलब स्टीरियो आइसोमर्स बोल के एक होता है, ऑप्टिकली रोटेट करते हैं, डी लाइट जब सॉल्यूशन से जाता है तो लाइट राइट साइड में बेंड करता है, जब लाइट सॉल्यूशन से घुसता है तो लेफ्ट साइड में लिबो रोटेटरी, डेक्स्ट्रो रोटेटरी, बहुत तरीके का सॉल्यूशंस होता है। वो मिक्सचर के ऊपर, कंपाउंड के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि कौन सा कंपाउंड आपने बुलाया है। वो डिफरेंट चीज ऑप्टिकल प्रिपरेशन का चलेगा, लेकिन जैसे प्रेशर वॉल्यूम आपको पता है, ये अगर ऑब्जर्वेबल क्वांटिटीज, जब रिएक्शन आगे बढ़ रहा है तब ये ऑब्जर्वेबल क्वांटिटीज चेंज हो रहा है, जो आप बाहर से ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हो विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग द रिएक्शन, तब ये इसी मेथड्स को ये सब चेंज को मेजर कर लेता है, वो अलग बात है। लेकिन अगर ये ऑब्जर्वेबल क्वांटिटीज चेंज नहीं हो रहा है तब क्या होता है, 2 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब और 5 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ऑफ रिएक्शन मिक्सचर को निकाला और फ्रीजिंग ऑफ द रिएक्शन, फटाक से कूल करके फ्रीजिंग ऑफ द रिएक्शन निकाला और तब कंसंट्रेशन नाप लिया। ये का भी नाप लिया, प्रोडक्ट का भी नाप लिया, कितना फॉर्म हुआ, रिएक्टेंट का भी नाप लिया, क्योंकि रिएक्शन हो रहा है। तब क्या करते हैं, एक पर्टिकुलर 1 सेकंड में निकाला, 2 सेकंड में निकाला, 3 सेकंड में निकाला, 4 सेकंड में निकाला और ऐसे करके कितना कंसंट्रेशन मिला उसको प्लॉट कर दिया। रिएक्टेंट का प्लॉट करेगा तो नीचे की तरफ आएगा और अगर प्रोडक्ट का प्लॉट करेगा तो ऐसे ऊपर की तरफ जाएगा। ये प्रोडक्ट के लिए होगा, क्योंकि प्रोडक्ट के लिए क्या होगा, कंसंट्रेशन 0 से बढ़ेगा और रिएक्टेंट क्या होगा, एक पर्टिकुलर कंसंट्रेशन से घटेगा। ये पहले समझाया मैंने, तो ऐसा होगा सर, ये प्रोडक्ट के लिए। तो ऐसे करके ग्राफ प्लॉट करते हैं, उसके बाद आप टेंजेंट वेंजेंट ड्रॉ करके एक पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंट में कितना है, क्या है, नहीं है, ये सब कर सकते हो। आई होप दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग। यू कैन टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस सो दैट आई कैन रब द बोर्ड। Okay, now one last thing that I would like to discuss in this, that is how to express the rate of the reaction for different types of reaction. How to express the rate of reaction for different types of reaction. How to express the rate of reaction for different types of reaction and a general expression. Now, बहुत सारा स्टूडेंट बोलेगा कि सर you have already taught about the general expression. When you say that, suppose for one example you take PCl5 decomposes to give PCl3 plus Cl2, where you have said that rate of reaction is equals to minus of del concentration of PCl5 divided by del T is equals to minus of plus of del concentration or change in concentration of PCl3 by del T is equals to plus del concentration or change in concentration of Cl2 by del T. Suppose you have got this, okay, you know this, you told that you will tell, sir आपने जनरल भी सिखाया था, आपने बोला था कि A plus B gives C plus D, so ये जनरल हो गया और आप लिखोगे क्या, minus of del A concentration divided by del T is equals to minus of del B concentration divided by del T is equals to plus of del C concentration divided by del T is equals to plus of del D concentration divided by del T. आप ये लिख दोगे, ठीक है? So that is as easy as that. ये तो आपने जनरल सिखाया था, लेकिन मैं यहाँ पे इसका बात छोड़ो, ये तो आएंगे इसमें। इसमें देखो 1 मोल बैलेंस करने से, लेकिन कभी कभी क्या होता है, हम लोग जब रिएक्शन लिखते हैं तो हम लोगों को रिएक्शन को बैलेंस करना होता है, isn't it? For example, एक रिएक्शन, I'm so sorry about this. Just hold on. जैसे मैं बताता हूँ, एक रिएक्शन जब हम लोग लिखते हैं तब हम लोगों को बैलेंस करना होता है. I hope it is fine. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, तो रिएक्शन को हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जनरली बैलेंस करते हैं. कैसे रिएक्शन को बैलेंस करते हैं, चलो देखते हैं. जनरली एक रिएक्शन का एग्जांपल देता हूं आप लोगों को. 2N2O5 gives 4NO2 plus O2. 2 N2O5 gives 4NO2 plus O2. ये बैलेंस रिएक्शन है, राइट। अब मुझे एक बात बताओ, जब आप टाइम के हिसाब से नापोगे एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में, सपोज आपने चेंज इन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ, सपोज आपने, मैं यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट लिख देता हूँ तो आप कंफ्यूज ना हो जाए, सपोज आप डेल ऑफ N2O5 बाई डेल टी करोगे माइनस, आप लोग सोच रहे हो कि ठीक है तो ऐसे ही है, और सोचोगे दैट विल बी इक्वल्स टू अपीयरेंस ऑफ NO2 del NO2 by del T and that will be equals to appearance of del O2 by del T। सर आपने तो अभी तक यही सिखाया है, लेकिन यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा गलत है। मुझे एक बात बताओ, ये पर्टिकुलर del T, ये पर्टिकुलर del T, ये पर्टिकुलर del T सब सेम है। अगर ये सेम है तो सेम टाइम में 2 मोलर Na2O5 डिकम्पोज हो रहा है, जब 1 मोलर उसी पर्टिकुलर टाइम में 1 मोलर O2 पैदा हो रहा है। 2 मोलर Na2O5 जितने टाइम में डिसअपीयर हो रहा है उतने टाइम में सिर्फ 1 मोलर O2 अपीयर हो रहा है। तो हुआ ना इसका डिसअपीयरेंस का स्पीड डबल इसके अपीयरेंस के स्पीड से। जितने टाइम में 2 मोलर N2O5 डिसअपीयर हो रहा है उतने टाइम में 4 मोलर NO2 अपीयर हो रहा है। तो इसका जितना डिसअपीयरेंस का फास्टनेस है या स्पीड है उससे 4 गुना स्पीड इसका है, तब उसी टाइम में 4 मोलर पैदा हो रहा है। तो क्या ये एक्चुअली इक्वल है? नहीं है, ये एक्चुअली इक्वल नहीं है। इस इक्वेशन के लिए, इस पर्टिकुलर इक्वेशन के लिए ठीक ही है, क्योंकि इसका 1 मोलर जब तक डिसअपीयर हो रहा है, उसका 1 मोलर अपीयर हो रहा है, इसका 1 मोलर अपीयर हो रहा है, तो ये मैं लिख दिया तो ठीक है। लेकिन यहाँ पे कोएफिशिएंट्स हैं, तो इसलिए क्योंकि इसका रेट इक्वल करने के लिए तब आप क्या करते हो, मल्टीप्लाइड विथ 1/2 इसको कर दो, इसको क्या करो मल्टीप्लाई विथ 1/4, और इसके पास कोई ये नहीं है तो, क्योंकि इसके हिसाब से अगर देखोगे, इसके हिसाब से इसका अपीयरेंस के रेट के इसका 4 टाइम्स है, इसके हिसाब से इसका अपीयरेंस 4 टाइम्स है, तो इसको 1/4 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो तो इसके साथ ये इक्वल हो जाएगा। इसके हिसाब से इसका अपीयरेंस डबल है, डबल इसका स्पीड है, तो इसके स्पीड को हाफ से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, तो ये हुआ आपका सही, राइट। सो इसीलिए अगर ये इक्वेशन को थोड़ा मॉडिफाई करना है तो मैं यहां लिखूंगा A मोलर ऑफ A reacts with B molar of B gives C molar of C plus D molar of D। तब आपका क्या होगा, ये हो जाएगा -1/A इंटू ये क्या हो जाएगा -1/B, ये हो जाएगा +1/C, और ये हो जाएगा +1/D। अब ये करेक्ट है। दिस इज द जनरल। Okay, I hope that you understand. In this example, I can show once more. Suppose, for example, you take N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. तो इसके लिए आप कैसे लिखोगे? Rate of the reaction should be equals to del N2 by del T should be equals to 1/3 of minus 1/3 of del H2 by del T should be equals to plus 1/2 of del NH3 by del T. So this is the way of writing, that is not the way of writing. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this particular thing. Okay, so that was it. So to sum up, that what we have learned through the previous entire things is that we have learned about the rate of the reaction is equals to the change in the molar concentration, that is equals to change in the disappearance of the reactant per unit time is equals to rate of appearance of the products per unit time, where it should be multiplied with the reciprocal of the coefficients, where it should be multiplied with the reciprocal of the coefficients. So you should remember that, and to find out the instantaneous, you should always draw a curve and how to freeze the reaction and how to plot the graph of it, and what are the measurable or observable quantities, these all things, and the entire concept of the rate of the reaction. In our next classes, we will learn about the order of the reaction, molecularity of the reaction, and on what, I'm sorry about this, and we will learn about what are the factors that are dependent on the that affects the rate of the reaction. One thing here mentionable is that when you are doing those experiments to plot the graph, taking out 2 centimeter cube or 5 centimeter cube, when you are doing those experiments, you should remember that in those cases temperature and other factors which can affect the rate of the reaction, like the temperature, okay, then presence of catalyst, all these things, those things were kept constant because they could affect the rate of the reaction, and when you are measuring the rate of the reaction at particular times, you do not want it to be changed at different times. So the temperature was kept constant at every interval when you were measuring it. Exposure to light was kept constant. Lot of things which can affect the rate of the reaction, those were kept constant. In the next class, we will learn about the factors and the rate law or order of the reaction, molecularity of the reaction. Till then, thank you.